From the I-Team, a major development in the federal corruption probe into former Oakland Mayor Sheng and the owners of California Waste Solutions.
America, we've been following the Oakland corruption case for months, and the other day, the first domino just fell. Former San Leandro City Council member Bryan Azevedo walked into federal court and pled guilty to honest service fraud.
A San Leandro City Council member is now facing federal charges in connection with the FBI investigation into former Oakland Mayor Sheng.
Azevedo isn't just pleading guilty, he's cooperating. He's the first person in this entire East Bay corruption ring to flip. And his sentencing hearing isn't until December 3rd, 2026, which means he's got almost a year to tell federal prosecutors everything he knows about the Duong family and their California Waste Solutions empire.
Who are the Duongs and how are they connected to Mayor Thao?
The Duong family, David and Andy Duong, own California Waste Solutions, Oakland's official recycling collector. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and according to federal prosecutors, they've been running a pay-to-play scheme across the entire East Bay for years. Azevedo just became their worst nightmare. What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Let me take you back to where this whole scheme started, because the federal indictment lays it out like a crime novel here. Summer 2023, Bryan Azevedo gets invited to a 10-day luxury trip to Vietnam. All expenses paid for, business class airfare, 5-star hotels, meals, everything all covered.
Did he try to help the owners of California Waste Solutions, David and Andy Duong, with their side business, Evolutionary Homes, that converted shipping containers to housing for the homeless? Did he try to hook the city of San Leandro as a customer?
Was there some arrangement between you and the Duongs in terms of, we'll give you a percentage if you sell X number of units?
Who paid for it? The Vietnamese American Business Association, which is controlled by the Duong family. This wasn't a cultural exchange here, guys. This was a recruitment trip. The Duongs were identifying which politicians could be bought, and Bryan Azevedo took the bait. According to his plea agreement, after he got back from Vietnam, he had a meeting with two individuals identified as co-conspirator 1 and co-conspirator 2. Now, the indictment doesn't name them, but we know from the investigation that these are David and Andy Duong.
The Duong family, they are the family that owns and operates Cal Waste Solutions. They have built a legacy here in the Bay Area and in Vietnam, where they fled from.
FBI agents and the IRS raided California Waste Solutions office on Embarcadero in Oakland. The recycling company's office is located on the 3rd floor, and the Vietnamese American Business Association, or VABA, is just below it. Several people confirm VABA was also raided by federal agents today.
Very surprising because, all these companies doing good for the community. Trying to have recycling going on and clean up the mess that we have.
Cal Waste Solutions is owned and operated by the Duong family, whose journey to the Bay Area was detailed in an earlier CBS News Bay Area story.
Saigon is we call home, but our heart is here.
Here's what they agreed to do. Bryan Azevedo would use his official position to advocate for the Duong's new company that they were launching, Evolutionary Homes, which converts shipping containers into modular housing for the homeless. He pushed other San Leandro officials to buy the units. He'd vote for policies that benefited the company, and in exchange, he'd get a percentage of every sale. This, my friends, is textbook what they call honest service fraud. You're depriving the public of your honest service as an elected official by taking bribes to benefit a private company and yourself. Now, here's where it gets really interesting, because the Duongs didn't just hand Azevedo cash in a parking lot in a white envelope. They had a system for hiding these particular bribes, and this detail is buried in the plea agreement, which means most news outlets won't even mention it. The Duongs told Azevedo to open an LLC in, get this, his wife's name, then open up a bank account under that particular LLC. That way, when the kickback payments came through, they wouldn't be directly traceable to to Bryan Azevedo. It would look like a legitimate business transaction to his wife's company. And here's the kicker. David Duong told Azevedo that he had concealed payments this way with other politicians. This, my friends, was not their first rodeo. They had a playbook for corrupting public officials, and they'd used it before.
I don't remember nothing, no.
For you to say, I don't remember, is not going to look good for people. I mean, clearly, me as a person.
I don't want to comment on that because there was no arrangement on that.
Remember when reporters first asked Azevedo about this particular arrangement? I don't remember nothing. That's what he said. Now he's admitting under oath that yes, indeed, he did remember something. He set up an LLC and yes, he took the money. While San Loreno never actually purchased any housing units from Evolutionary Homes, the Duongs still gave Azevedo $2,000 in cash to fund that particular bank account. That is a down payment of future corruption. That's seed money for bribery scheme. Now, let me show you what Azevedo actually did to earn this bribe, because this is where the honest service fraud becomes super real. Between August 2023 and June 2024, Azevedo took several official actions to benefit Evolutionary Homes and the Duongs.
On the conspiracy charge, Azevedo could face 20 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. For false statements to the FBI, he could receive 5 years in prison and another $250,000 fine.
First, on June 17, 2024, during a city council meeting, Azevedo voted in favor of emergency shelter ordinance, exactly as the Duongs instructed him to. This ordinance would make it easier for the city to purchase modular housing units like the ones Evolutionary Homes was selling. Second, he advocated for the ordinance and other members of San Loreno city government. He wasn't just voting here, he was lobbying to his colleagues behind the scenes. Third, he took city officials on tours of these modular units. He acted as a salesman for Evolutionary Homes while serving as a city councilman. He was using his official position to market a private company's product. And fourth, he directly advocated for San Loreno to purchase units from the Duong's company. He was pushing the city to spend taxpayer money on a company that was paying him kickbacks.
Our media partners at the Bay Area News Group report federal officials have asked the city to hand over numerous records that name the Duong family.
They're building a case that goes beyond Bryan Azevedo. They're mapping out entire corruption networks here. Now, if Azevedo just admitted to the bribery scheme when the FBI showed up initially, he might have gotten a lighter sentence, but unfortunately he didn't. He lied, and lying to federal agents is a separate felony. In January 2025, FBI agents executed a search warrant of Azevedo's home. During that search, Azevedo sat for a voluntary interview, and he told agents 2 specific lies.
Get out of your house with your hands up.
Last April, San Leandro Council member Bryan Azevedo described the FBI raid at his house.
First, he said co-conspirator 1 never provided him with cash. That was obviously a lie. He'd already received the $2,000 to fund the LLC bank account. Second, he said that co-conspirator 1's family did not have any business interest before the city of San Loreno. That was also a lie. Evolutionary Homes was actively selling modular housing units to the city, and Azevedo was helping him with that. So now Mr. I Don't Know Nothing is facing 2 felony counts. 1, conspiracy to commit honest service fraud. That's 20 years max, $250,000 fine. And making false statements to federal investigators. 5-year max sentence, $250,000 fine. But here's the key. His sentencing hearing isn't until December 3rd, 2026. Why? Because he's cooperating. He's telling prosecutors everything he knows about the Duong family's corruption network. And the longer that he cooperates, the lighter his potential sentence might be. Now, let me show you who Azevedo is cooperating against, because the Duong family isn't some small-time operation. They're a political dynasty with connections at every level of government.
Well, the company owns the recycling company Cal Waste Solutions, Oakland's official recycling collector. This is a photo of the family from the Cal Waste website. Siblings David, the CEO, Christina, CFO, and Victor, Vice President. In 2017, the city of Oakland sued Cal Waste for overcharging customers by about $6 million.
They were forced to refund about 2,000 multifamily building owners. But that didn't stop them. They kept operating. They kept making the money. They kept pocketing the cash. They kept building political connections.
Andy Duong's Instagram also shows him standing side by side with some of the country's most powerful politicians, including President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
These aren't just photo ops. These are relationships. The Duongs have cultivated political power for decades.
In 2019, the Oakland Public Ethics Commission launched an investigation into allegations that Cal Waste had been funneling illegal campaign contributions to at least 5 city council candidates.
This is a pattern. The Duongs use their recycling monopoly to generate massive amounts of revenue. They use that revenue to make campaign contributions. They use those contributions to buy influence with politicians. And then they use that influence to get more government contracts and favorable policies. It is a self-perpetuating corruption machine, and Azevedo just gave prosecutors the roadmap to dismantle it. Now, here's where it gets really big, because Azevedo's case isn't isolated. It's connected to former Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao's investigation.
Recalled Mayor of Oakland, Sheng Thao, was arraigned in federal court where she pleaded not guilty. Our cameras were there this morning as she turned herself in ahead of the announcement from the federal prosecutors. They accuse her of a bribery scheme that includes her longtime partner, Andre Jones, and the prominent Duong family.
Sheng Thao was indicted on federal corruption charges for a bribery scheme that includes her longtime partner, Andre Jones, and you guessed it, the Duong family, the same family that corrupted Azevedo, the same family that runs California Waste Solutions. According to prosecutors, Thao promised to extend California Waste Solutions' recycling contract with Oakland. She promised to purchase housing units from Evolutionary Homes. She promised to use her influence to appoint city officials who benefit from the Duong's business interests. And in exchange, the Duongs allegedly provided $95,000 in payments towards a promised sum of $300,000. They also funded a $75,000 mailer campaign on behalf of Sheng Thao during her election.
And I want to be crystal clear. I have done nothing wrong. I can tell you with confidence that this investigation is not about me.
She was wrong. It is about her. And now she's facing the same honest service charges that Azevedo pled guilty to. The difference, Azevedo is cooperating. Sheng Thao is fighting, and Azevedo's testimony is going to be devastating to her defense. America, Bryan Azevedo just became the first domino to fall in Oakland's corruption empire. He pled guilty to honest service fraud for taking bribes from the Duong family. He voted for politicians that benefited their company. He lied to the FBI, and now he's cooperating because prosecutors need him to testify against the Duong and Sheng Thao. He's the Rosetta Stone that decodes how California Waste Solutions corrupted the entire East Bay. The Duongs have photos with Joey Biden, Harris, and Newsom. They've been funneling illegal campaign contributions for years. They've overcharged customers, bribing politicians, and building political dynasties on taxpayer dollars. And Azevedo just handed prosecutors the blueprint to take them down. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.